Hey everyone, before we get into today's episode of Prime News, I want to remind you that we are giving away a Nintendo Switch Super Smash Bros. Ultimate bundle down in the description. Hit that gleam.io link, and I wish all of you guys luck. Now, our first story today is about the Game Awards. Yes, the Game Awards. Jeff Keighley has put up on Twitter that there will be 10 new games announced at the Game Awards. Or, well, he says 10 plus. So, who knows how many of those are going to be Nintendo, and will Bayonetta 3 count as one, even though we already had that announced last year? He gets a little weird. He's not calling them world premieres because that's when we know that it could be something that we already know about. He's saying new games specifically, so to me this means there's going to be a bunch of new game announcements from across the industry, Nintendo included. Remember, Nintendo has had a major presence at all 4 of the prior Game Awards, this being the 5th one, and with Switch like right in the midst of basically a massive upswing with Pokemon Let's Go and Super Smash Bros. Plus the holidays. I feel like Nintendo's going to be bringing it hard at the Game Awards. I don't know what they're bringing it hard with. Are we going to see Metroid Prime 4? I assume Bayonetta 3 will be there. Will there be anything else? I can't wait to find out. And as a reminder, the Game Awards air on December 6th. Our next story is actually a really nice one for those of you that might be disabled but wanting to play the Nintendo Switch. So, Microsoft did a really cool thing in releasing what's called the Xbox Adaptive Controller. So what the Adaptive Controller is basically a module that lets you plug in a whole bunch of different accessories to mimic different button presses, different joysticks, the shoulder buttons, all that stuff. The idea is that regardless of your disability, are you missing a hand, are you missing an arm, all that stuff, missing fingers, whatever the case may be, that there is an ability to still play video games. And it's actually a very, very nice controller for obviously a niche market, but a market that is often ignored. So it's definitely a quality of life product for the disabled. Well, it appears that it works flawlessly on Nintendo Switch. Now, I'm going to have a link to a video that goes over this down in the description because this is the person who brought the attention to me. So make sure to go watch that if you want more information. Essentially, you need to use an adapter to run it as a wired controller. In this case, this particular user used the Magic NS, although I'm sure other adapters will work as well. It does not seem to work wirelessly with the wireless adapters, so that's just something to keep in mind. And yeah, the input lag seems to be pretty minimal. You can map the different buttons and the different switches on it through a PC if you want to get it exactly one-to-one mapped with a Switch, because remember, things are kind of flipped on a Switch. A is B, B is A, X is Y, Y is X, etc. So that's something to keep in mind when you're mapping, but you can really make it so customized that it's not going to make a difference for the end user. And once it's all set up, it's actually pretty brilliant. So honestly, I think this is excellent news for disabled people. I think this is great for those that would specifically like to play the Nintendo Switch on the TV. I don't know that this is, well, it's usable in handheld mode. I'm not sure how useful that is because you'd have to wear some sort of device to have it in front of you. And I don't know that that's, advantageous for the disabled. But again, maybe there's a scenario where that is actually better than a TV. It does work in handheld and it also works on the dock. So it's just something to keep in mind. And yeah, I'm very, very happy that the disabled community can take this controller meant for Xbox and use it on Switch. And I'm sure if enough tweaking happens, it could probably be used on PlayStation as well. Nyko is replacing the Joy-Cons. Okay. They're not really replacing them, but they are releasing a new set of Joy-Cons that aim to be a cheaper alternative to the current ones that are also more ergonomic. They're calling them dualies, and they do feature full motion controls. They do feature rumble. They say rumble, not HD rumble, so it's probably just traditional rumble. For most games, you probably won't be able to tell too much of a difference. And they do tout that it has compatibility with most Switch games. The Switch games where you might have issues are ones that use the IR camera on the right Joy-Con, because that is not on this version. That's just pretty much the only real game I could think that wouldn't support these, or this game wouldn't necessarily work as well. 1-2 Switch is an example. There would be certain mini games that simply would not function. And they definitely look more comfortable and look great for bigger hands, but I also have to question their existence because they cannot be slid onto the Switch. And I know that seems like, oh, you're just talking about one use case, but it's the most important use case for the Joy-Cons. If you cannot slide them on, what's the point? Sure, they work wirelessly. Yes, you could charge them. It comes with a USB-C cable to charge them. But again, what's the point if you can't slide them on? I guess you can still use them as two controllers. There's not a D-pad, so it still uses the normal button layout with the offset sticks. It's still going to feel a little awkward holding it sideways, which again, is an issue the Joy-Cons have anyways. But if you can't just slide them on and use it with more ergonomics, I don't know why this product is a thing besides offering cheaper Joy-Cons, I guess, for games that require them, like Super Mario Party, I suppose. Maybe it's a cheap way to get 4 players in Super Mario Party. I honestly think that this is a great product that literally it just needs to take what Nyko did with the left Joy-Con, where they sell a Joy-Con that has a D-pad, but, you know, isn't wireless. All they had to do was take that rail, put that on these, and this product would be near perfect, in my opinion. But unfortunately, they didn't do that. So they have a product that can't be used wirelessly that replaces the Joy-Con but adds a D-pad. They have products that replace the Joy-Cons but don't really replace the Joy-Cons because they can't be, you know, put on the Switch. Next, they actually need to take this product and make it able to be railed onto the Switch. They do that, and you know what? I could see this being a viable replacement in general for the Joy-Cons. So again, this is a start. I might pick a pair up just to try them out, see how they feel, see if even putting the rail on and making them, you know, usable in handheld mode is something, even if they can't charge that way, right? Even if you still have to go through the annoying charging with a cable, just being able to slide them on and use them that way, if that's even something we should worry about, because maybe they just suck. So I don't know, maybe I'll get some of those in and give a quick review of them to let you guys know if they're even worth picking up, even as second controllers, cheaper controllers, that is, for games like Super Mario Party. And our last story today is about Mario Tennis Aces. There is a massive update coming to the game, and I'm actually quite proud of this update because it does show that they are finally doing something besides just adding characters, and they're actually improving the Mario Tennis Aces experience with new modes and content. Here is the full rundown of this directly from Nintendo Life. In the online tournament, a player's ability will be classed by 4 ranks, A, B, C, and D, based on a player's rating, with those at similar ranks being likely to face one another. All current 5-round tournaments have been changed to 3 rounds. Playtime has been changed from 2-game, 1-set match to first to win 2 games, with a tiebreaker being needed when each player wins 1 game. And you'll soon be able to remove the mast on the Savage C court with a hazards off setting. The player ranking system really comes into effect in December. As a new month starts, a player's initial rating will change based on their play results from the previous month. December also sees the additions of a doubles class and online tournament, with 2 teams of 2 being made up of either 2 people sharing a Switch, friends playing together online, or 2 strangers of similar ability. Elsewhere, the second co-op challenge, Yoshi's Ring Shot, will begin. This game will be available from the 1st of December to the 10th of January 2019 and features 4-player teams, either friends or online players. You can acquire Yoshis of different colors, blue, red, and yellow, by completing objectives. Also, Boo Hunter will be added to the swing mode and will support both co-op and competitive styles. On top of all of this, numerous small tweaks have been made to the shot system and character abilities. If you play with Mario, Bowser, Waluigi, Peach, Toadette, Boo, Blooper, or Koopa. And obviously you're going to want to check out the 2.1.0 patch notes, which we will have linked in the description. The majority of this update will go live on Friday, November 30th, with these December specific changes coming immediately afterwards. So as I said, this is great news for Mario Tennis players out there. I'm glad to see that they are adding these new modes in. Again, I'd still like to see some more courts and some more single player, content, and also just a more RPG-like progression, at least for the rackets and the clothes. But hey, you know what? I'm glad to see that they're making content updates like this anyways. I didn't expect this, and I definitely will be checking out these modes throughout December because I actually really like Mario Tennis Aces core gameplay enough to actually give these modes a shot. Maybe we'll even do a live stream with it. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, folks, I am Nathaniel Rufflejans from Nintendo Prime, and if you like this video, you know what to do. And if you dislike the video, hit that dislike button. Be sure to enter our giveaway down in the description, that gleam.io link for the Nintendo Switch Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Bundle. And let me know what you think about Prime news in general. Lately, I've been doing a lot of the single news videos of voiceover gameplay, But yeah, we're back to Prime News. It didn't happen yesterday because I was sick. Today, feeling much, much better, and I'm just glad to be back in front of a camera talking to all of you. I'll see all your lovely faces in the next one.
Yes.